Hi, I'm DJ Peaches, and with me I have native born San Antonio, right,
Mm-hmm.
resident,
That's it.
and a 2007
Yes, sir.
Grammy
Camera Worldwide.
Award winner, Chente Barrera.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Un saludo muy grande de parte de Chente Barrera. I'm glad to be here finally. DJ Peaches here on your show, and we're just getting ready for a big show tonight here at Club Access. And what can I say, man? We're just proud to be here.
Yeah, so, I was reading about your career and everything you've done, and you started off doing drums for Jay Perez,
Well, I played with a
right?
lot of groups before that, but it really stuck out when I joined the Jay Perez band back in 1993. And it was a great thing. It was a great thing. Jay Perez had just finished singing with David Lee, and the story is, they kind of mutually agreed to part ways and whatnot. And Jay had a great voice, great career going
Mm-hmm.
for him, and he asked me to be his drummer. And I wasn't the first guy he asked, so
Oh,
I guess it
wow.
was all destiny, right? And
Yeah.
so we finally made a group, and I was with him for about 7, 8 years, and man, it was great, and we didn't get out on bad terms. It was just I always wondered what it would be like to have my own group and have a career singing. It was my dad's. That's what my dad used to do. My dad was a singer, and actually, it's ironic because Dad used to sing with David Lee before they were the Musicales and
Oh,
before they became
wow.
famous in the late 70s, and then he passed away in the early 80s. So it was always my determination and my mission to finish what he started. So starting out as a drummer, growing up in a musical family, yeah, I picked up the drums at a real early age. I started playing with a bunch of bands like La Tropa F, La Sombra, you name it, the list goes on. But finally, like I said, 1993, when I joined the Jay Perez band, I mean, this was really, my career really took off, and people got to know who Chente Barrera was as a drummer, a background singer, and then I became a studio musician, recording with all kinds of groups. Right now, I have about 400 CDs,
Mm,
and how feathers in my cap, that I can
yeah.
say that I recorded with all kinds of groups from Intocable to, of course, David Lee, Ram, so many groups I can
So
name.
you've collaborated not only with Elida,
Oh yeah,
but
Elida too.
there's been many. I mean, there's a song that I wanted to ask you about. I think it's El Destino.
El Destino.
Was that supposed to be originally Laura Canales
Yeah,
singing that?
yeah, that's the story. Whoever told you that is
Oh,
not
okay.
lying. What happened was Rocío Durcal was a big influence on Laura Canales, and me and Laura became real good friends. Being in the studio, I knew her for a few years. I was always a fan back when she had Felicidad in the '70s and whatnot. And I grew up. I was born in '76, so I grew up too late, or I don't know. I was born too late. I always tell Rick
In the
Fuentes,
wrong era.
yeah, because we all like the old school, and I still love it, and I've always been the kind of guy that, and I guess a lot of people critique me for this, but I've always told a story from before. Like I recorded a song called Copa Tras Copa, which was a big
Hmm.
hit for Roberto Pulido in the '70s, and everybody thought that was my song, that I wrote it, and I'm like, no, it's a hit. So I've always been kind of like a historian kind of guy.
Hmm.
A lot of my peers, they call me and they'll ask me, hey Chente, what's the song? Who recorded it? Because I'm crazy like that. I'm a
It's
big.
like they're throwing trivia questions
Well,
at
it's
you,
just
sort of.
well, no, I'm just a big nerd for that,
Okay.
and if they're looking for a song, they'll call me. The other day, Raulito Navaira called me and said, "Hey man, I'm looking for this song. It was recorded by this artist," and I said, "Oh yeah, it's this one." He's like, "Oh yeah, man," because so
Oh.
I'm like I said, I'm crazy like that. I wish there was a library and I could work there and tell everybody, look, here's where this goes. And there's a lot that I'm learning still, and that's why people like Rick Fuentes too, who's
Hmm.
he's actually the guy that told me, man, we were born like 20 years too late, right? And I'm like, well, we love so much music and stuff like that. So going back to the story about my dad, he was singing with David Lee before they became very famous, and like I said, he passed away young, and I always felt that it was my destiny to fulfill what he didn't get to do,
Hmm.
so in 1998, I guess, is when I decided to launch my own career as a singer. I always thought about, man, how would it be, how would it you know um, how would it be to start my own band and
Yeah.
to launch my career. And so here we are 19 years later, and we got a Grammy under our belt, we got a few Tejano Music Awards, and I don't mean to go jump back and forth, but going back to the story that we were talking about with Laura,
Yes.
she became a good friend of mine. So I was doing this record, it's called Music Lessons, it came out in '08,
Hmm.
and what I did was I recorded with all the bands that I was on the road with as a drummer up
Hmm.
to this point. and bands like I said, like Tropa F, Oscar G, of course Jay Perez recorded a song with me on that. And what we did was we paid homage to a lot of those bands that we were listening to at the time. Like I did a song with David Farias, who of course was the voice of Tropa F for a long time.
Yes.
And we paid homage to Tony de la Rosa with a song called Dame una cachetada. So it was a, and then I collaborated with Jay Perez on a song called La Llorona Loca that was originally done by Steve Jordan,
Oh,
because
wow.
we,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of history.
A
There's
lot
a
of
lot of
history.
there's a lot of
Right.
behind the, how do you say it, behind the scenes, behind there's a backstory to all that
Right.
stuff. So
Right. That's
so
right.
so knowing Loud and all that, I said, hey, look, there's this great song that I heard from Juan Gabriel and Rocío Durcal, and I want you to sing with me. So we started singing over the phone. I said, yes, exactly. I said, I'm gonna do the music, and you come in when you have a chance and you record it. She says, great. Well, time went on, and unfortunately, she passed away.
Yeah.
And as we were finishing the record, producer Gilbert Velasquez says, hey, what are you gonna do with this song? I said, you know what? Let me make one phone call. There's only one person that I know that loves Laura Canales as much as I do. And I called Elida. Elida's been a friend since day one. I would go see them when there would be 3 people in the club watching them.
Oh,
And I would
wow.
tell them, man, don't lose faith, man. So, you guys are
Keep
going to be
going.
big one day,
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, Elida's got a great career. And like they say, the rest is history. But she said, you know what, Chente? I'll be honored. I'll be glad. And so we did the song. And it hit in a few places. A lot of people really,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really were. We got a great response, and people kind of, we played together every now and then, and people are, you want to do that song? No, it's been a long time, but
Yeah.
we still call each other, and we joke about it and stuff like that. So maybe one day we'll do it. But anyway, so here we are again. We're here in Tucson, Arizona. The people always make us feel at home. There's a lot of great Tejano fans here. And here we are again, Club XS. There's a band playing right now, and we're getting ready to get on stage. So Chente Barrera, once again, there's just a lot going on right now. We're getting ready to go to the
Yeah.
studio to work on our new CD.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
Okay.
so there's a lot going on. So
Okay.
I just
And
want to
you're
thank
part
you
of the
guys.
VMB
I'm part of the
music,
VMB record,
right?
what do you call it, music group.
Yeah.
VMB Records, VMB Music Group, whatever, it's all the same thing. Yeah, I got together with some good friends of mine, and we all had the same vision. There was a label for a bunch of bands to go to that could support them, on the
Mm-hmm.
label end, and distribute CDs and whatnot. And so we got together and called a bunch of our friends, and here we are. Here we are 3 years later, and we got some great groups on our label. We're talking about the
Right.
Hometown Boys, Jaime Los Chamacos, Ram Herrera,
Yes.
Stephanie Montiel, just to name a few. And
And those are
and
big
we're
time. Those are big time
yeah,
artists.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
real happy to have those guys in our label, and just not only that, just like I said, it's just the love of the music and the unity that we have and to promote the Tejano music.
Right. Did you ever sing a song, or maybe even did you ever write a song that had meaning to you personally, that really hit you in the heart? That.
I can't say that. No, no, I'm not. A lot of my songs are true stories. 90% of them are true stories. If they're not my stories, they're somebody else's stories. I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, this happened to me. This is, I've been going through this. I've been going through that." And sometimes it just stays in your mind, and you put it in a song. But yeah, one that hits me real hard. I don't know. There's a few. There's a few that sometimes I look back and say, "Wow, what what got me to write about that?" There's some words there that I just. There's a song that I wrote a while back called "Hombre Más Feliz." That's one of my hits on the 10 years
Mhm.
record. And then there's a song that I wrote for Jay Perez called "Eres Tú."
Mhm.
Son tus miradas. Those are songs that are my favorite songs that I can say, man, I don't know how I came up with that, but it just.
Is it from personal experience, or?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Son tus miradas was about I was very young when I got in the Jay Perez band. I was 17 years old, and there was a girl one time at a dance, and I met her, and I believe she was married or had a boyfriend. But man, I was like, man, that girl just got the look. She's got this something about her. And I remember one day we were going from Laredo to Houston, and I asked my manager, it's 3:30 in the morning, and we're getting ready to leave, and I said, hey man, you got a pad and a pencil or a pen? And he's like, yeah, but what are you gonna do right now at 3:30 in the morning? I said, I'm gonna write something. And that it became the Santos
Oh,
Miradas song. So
wow.
yeah,
Well, that's good to know. That's
so yeah, it's just stuff like that, and we could be here all night talking about
yeah.
the stuff that has inspired me. But usually it's a personal inspiration. If not, I'll hear somebody else's story and just go with it, you know. So that's how I come up with songs, or I'll come up with a melody and just hum it in my head, and then and just go from there.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun with that, and I've been very blessed to be able to write some hits and keep doing what I love doing, you know.
Well, I want to thank you. You're a legend here in Tucson. I mean, we all appreciate your music. So, is there any way where anyone could get your music, to buy your merchandise, a
Yeah, you
website?
can go to the vnbmusicgroup.com.
Mhm.
All my music is there, or else you can look for me on Facebook, / Chente Barrera. I'm on Facebook and the Instagram and all that good stuff. So the world has become social media. So
That's
we got to
right.
keep up. Us old guys. I say old. I'm 40 years old, but I don't hide it. I've been at it for such a long time, and a lot of people don't like to say their age and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a conservative thing, I guess. But hey, I'm 40 years old and I'm enjoying it.
Well, I want to thank you again for giving me your time
Of
and
course.
doing the interview, and safe travels back home.
Thank you, thank
Okay,
you, thank you.
so
Y un saludo muy grande one more time on parte de Chente Barrera y Taconazo. And we'll see you guys real soon. If y'all don't come out tonight, well, we'll see you again sometime.
DJ Peaches signing off with Chente Barrera.